This is The Tea Project with your host, Gadiel and Michelle, a husband and wife duo where they will be discussing countless topics such as parenting and marriage, personal finance, managing a household, personal and professional development, and so much more. Gadiel is a father, husband, a military veteran, and a lawyer. Michelle is a mother, wife, boss, and above all, a productivity enthusiast. Each week, they will be providing you with fresh and valuable content, so stay tuned. And now, welcome to The Tea Project.
Hey folks, welcome to another episode of Tea Project.
Hi everybody.
Today we're going to talk about Chase and what credit cards they have to offer, specifically the Chase Inc. Business Cash Credit Card, specifically for businesses. We went ahead and in order to maximize what we're going to receive for Productive Bunch, we went ahead and got a business credit card using this one, Inc. Business Cash.
So do you want to tell them about the features that it
has? Yeah, so this is a very interesting cash business credit card that Chase offers. They have a variety, but this is specifically for what we're doing with the Productive Bunch channel on YouTube and our website. So let me just read off some of the benefits that it offers. If you spend $3,000 on purchases within the first 3 months of opening the account, you're eligible to receive, or you will receive, $500 cash back.
Now, to add on to that, we're going to talk about how we can reach that goal to get the $500. But just be clear that it's all without spending unplanned expenses. So.
Right. So let me just read off some of the benefits that the card has and why it was appealing to us. So aside from the $500 cash back, there's 5% cash back when you spend purchases on office supply, internet, cable, and phone services. And all of these right here apply to what we kind of do here with the Productive Bunch. So that's how we can take advantage of earning 5% cash back when we do those things. The second tier here that's included is 2% cash back on all purchases related to gas stations and restaurants. And then the last tier here is 1% cash back on all other purchases.
So going back to the first tier, the 5%. So right off the bat, you have internet, you have cable. Well, we don't have cable, but we have our internet. So that would be an expense that we would just move from our personal side over to the business side.
Right.
So that can go towards the $3,000.
Like what? Can you list some of the things?
I just said it. The AT&T one.
And you mentioned the cable.
Well, we don't have cable.
No, we don't have cable, the old-fashioned cable. But one thing we need to make sure is that streaming services is not considered cable regarding this, because if it is, we can put the Amazon Prime Video, we can put the Roku, and some of those. Well, if it applies, I don't see why not.
I don't think it does. But the goal is just to get to the $3,000.
Sure. Within
the 3 months. So because I already have those other non-business expenses automated, it would make sense to just leave them with our personal bank account. But because AT&T or our internet service can be considered business expense because we are using it for that, then that one can permanently get moved into the business account.
Right.
So that clears off the first part.
Right.
The one for the 2%.
What about the phone services?
Oh, yes, you're right. So T-Mobile. So our
so AT&T
and our T-Mobile
can
go in there.
Plus office supplies, things that we purchased on Amazon.
Yes,
that we do for the videos. So some of the videos that we've done, for Productive Bunch, has been some arts and crafts with our kids. So a lot of those supplies would be considered.
So now I may go shopping at Joann Fabrics.
That too. So folks, my wife is an avid shopper of Joann Fabrics and Michaels and Hobby Lobby. And all those purchases can be done with this credit card in order to achieve a 5% cash back, because we're already doing it. That's something that we just do already. And two, we want to get to this $3,000 purchase within 3 months, the first 3 months, to get the $500 cash back.
But again, all these would be planned expenses.
Folks, we're not going to go out and spend $3,000 to get $500. It doesn't make any sense. So assume we're doing it on purchases that we're already doing now.
Now, here's the other thing. We've just only mentioned AT&T, T-Mobile, Amazon. That is very unlikely that we would reach 3,000 with just on that.
Right.
So, without having to spend on anything that wasn't already planned for, then the next one, which is the 2%, that goes for gas and restaurants.
Right.
So we could use it for gas.
Right.
For the 3-month period, because after that we go back to using our personal account.
Right.
This would just be to help get to the 3,000 goal. And restaurants, I mean, we've discussed the idea of doing restaurant reviews.
Yeah, so that's one way where
that would be a business expense.
Absolutely. Look, folks, my wife is a CPA. However, she's not going to give you, here's the disclaimer. I'm a lawyer. She's a CPA, a certified public accountant. So when we give you information that may be tied to law or to accounting or tax, look, you can't take that. This is what we're going to do. Please don't take our word for it. Go ahead and consult with a person you normally consult regarding these topics. So I got to throw that out there. Okay, folks. Little joke,
ultimately, when you're using this account,
right?
In accounting, they tell you not to commingle your funds.
Right. That's true.
But I find that almost hard to do when there's the capability of being able to benefit from something like this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to spend $3,000 on business expenses in 3 months. It's just not going to happen.
Right.
We would have to be like a brick and mortars type of business to be able to expense on that.
Right.
So,
however, since we're talking about commingling, folks, I suggest, and I'm sure I can't speak for Michelle, but I'm pretty sure she would agree to this, is that if you're going to open up a business, now we're getting into like how would you run the business as a sole proprietor and a limited liability company. Look, our business, Productive Bunch, is under an LLC. We have a bank account for that business. So we have a separate account. We don't commingle this with our personal account. That's us. And and that's how we keep it clean for tax purposes and any other purpose.
Right. But then because we're talking about the commingling on the
purchases
credit card side,
yeah,
we have to make sure that we maintain good accounting records there.
Correct.
So and like I said, it was just the internet, the phones, mm-hmm. and then anything that is directly related to Productive Bunch.
Right. The restaurants, we're going to do reviews,
mm-hmm.
so we use the business credit card for that. All those to achieve.
I mean, ultimately, you have to just be ready for questions from the IRS or whatever, because
if you get audited, folks,
that's what it is.
Look, you got to be prepared. What does that mean? Receipts,
and you got to
documents, things like that.
So,
right.
Anyhow, then the third one, which is the 1%, that's
on anything. So what would that? So the viewers and the listeners, what does that look like for us? 1%. What do we when we go to the movies?
We don't really.
Well, it's
much, but
no, not as we're not like avid moviegoers, but we go occasionally. The kids like to go, so we go.
I think that would really just be like groceries.
Okay. So groceries is not listed in these categories, so it would be under the 1%, and we do a lot of our grocery shopping on
Walmart.
On Walmart, it's the most convenient for us.
And if you want to hear more about how we do our grocery shopping, there is a vlog for that, and we'll put the link down below.
Right. So right. Michelle does a breakdown on how she does our shopping
online
at Walmart. So you don't want to miss that, because we save tons of money. She has it down to a science with the spreadsheets and all this other stuff, and so don't miss out.
Okay, so
she doesn't like when I gas her up, folks. When I say great things about her, she'll make a face. Like right now, she just made a face. That's her being modest, but I'm not. I'm modest, but I gotta be honest. So,
well, thank you.
Yeah.
Anyhow.
Great.
Sorry.
You see what happens, folks? You've been married so long. When you give a compliment to your spouse, she doesn't receive it as what she did like day one. When if I would have met
old habits die hard.
when we first met, she's pretty much the same personality. But if I would have gave her a compliment then, she would have thanked me. But maybe thought about the compliment.
I think I would have thanked you, and that's
the extent.
That's the extent.
Right now.
I think through the years,
right,
it's been like, were you really telling the truth then?
You see, folks. So you gotta, it's about being married, folks. That's or being in a long term relationship.
So,
okay. So, and then the last part.
I think there's two important pieces in there. One of them is you get 0 APR for a whole year.
Man, I almost blew that one. Right. And this you should run this episode. You're the finance.
Well,
you're the CFO. You're the CFO of the house. I'm just a big speaker, so she allows me to speak. But what was the 0 APR?
0 APR for a year.
Which means?
No interest.
No interest, folks. So that means you can purchase throughout the year, and what?
And you have a year to pay it back.
And you got a year to pay it back.
But be careful with that.
Yeah, don't overdo it. And then
so you have to obviously handle your credit cards responsibly, like extremely responsibly, because you can get into a lot of trouble there.
Been there, done that, folks.
Yeah.
We can do a podcast on that.
So, and then the second one is if you are a veteran.
Actually, let me see, because ours happens to be no annual fee because I am a veteran.
Oh, so maybe.
But maybe it doesn't.
No, but you know what? I believe that even if you're not a veteran, most, if not all, credit cards do an introductory 0 APR.
Right, and no annual fee. Though is what I was gonna get to.
No annual fee.
No annual fee.
There's a lot of credit cards out there that don't charge you annual fees, and honestly, I have yet to pay for an annual fee in my lifetime. So
right, look, they're trying to be competitive, and even if there's one that says they charge you that, they'll waive it if you request it. That's another episode that we had to talk about. The squeaky wheel gets the grease. A lot of you know what that means, and for those of you who don't, you got to listen to our next podcast where we talk about these hacks. What else, Michelle?
We talked about what you have limits.
Okay.
So every year, I think on your
I think it says something about first 25,000.
So I assume that after the 25,000, you no longer
get these percentages cash back.
Yeah, but
it renews. I believe it renews every year.
Annual. Yeah.
Every year.
On your anniversary.
Right.
So I think that's.
Well, folks, that's today's podcast.
So the goal is just to reach the 3,000 with the with the
current expenses that we currently have monthly.
Right, just so that we can get the 500, and then every month we pay our credit cards in full.
Right.
So if we had to, for whatever reason, couldn't pay it, in the following month, which I hope that's not the case, because that's not how we practice our credit cards. We know that we have 0 APR for the whole year, and maybe what we would do is, I don't know, the second thing would be to spread it out.
Yeah. But look, just so you know, we didn't get the card because, hey, we want to take advantage. However, if the benefit is there, take advantage. Make it work for you, folks. And then, like Michelle said, once we're done with the promotion and we get the $500 cash back, we'll go back to how we were.
And we don't use the card anymore.
And we don't use the card, and it's
unless
open.
It's a business expense.
Unless it's a business expense.
Yeah. So, all right. Do you have any?
No, just stay tuned for the next episode.
Okay. If you want to know more about this credit card or any product Chase that Chase has to offer, please see a link down below in our comments. And if you have any other topics that you would like to hear us speak about, do that as well. Put it in the comments, and we'll hopefully get to do one.
Okay, folks. We'll see you next time. God bless.
See you next time.